This is Jim Fouratt, and we're doing a real deal interview with Silas Howard, who is in New York City for the East Coast premiere of Sunset Stories, a film that I first saw in its world premiere in Austin, Texas at South by Southwest Film Festival, and it's played a few other festivals. But we've been really looking forward to seeing this. Is this your directorial debut, Silas?
No, By Hook or by Crook was the first film that I did.
And that was the film that played at Sundance and
Played
blew
at Sundance.
everybody's mind, yes?
It did. I think it blew a few minds. I think it did. I made that film with Harry Dodge, and yeah, I played at Sundance. I played at South by Southwest 10 years ago.
I remember the audience at both. Because the whole Salt Lake queer community came up to Sundance to be in the audience for that. And that was really terrific.
It was fun, and John Waters was even there because he was on jury, and Harry.
John Waters would love that film.
Yeah, he was like, homosexuals in crime, of course, I'm there.
But it was for those who haven't seen it yet, and I really recommend that you do, because it's one of those very special independent films. It was one of the first of a kind of genre which wasn't stuck on sexuality. It was stuck on storytelling. It just happened to be the characters were two boys in a buddy movie out west, and played by Harry and Silas.
Myself, yeah.
Yes.
We were.
Now, did you two write that film as a script and then perform it, or was it improvised?
No, we did write it, and Stanya Khan, who plays Valentine, which is Harry Dodge's character, wrote some of her dialogue. And it wasn't improv, although it felt that way. There was sort of that. We wanted to play with language because we felt like film is such hard work, and you have to give so much, that if we were going to put all that effort in, we wanted to try something that we were interested in.
This was at the time when you were living in San Francisco, and you were still performing in the band TRIBE8?
Yes.
How long were you in TRIBE8?
I was in TRIBE8 from probably like 21 years old to 30, so
almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years in TRIBE8, yeah, which was.
Now I'm going to let you describe TRIBE8 rather than me describe TRIBE8. Other than it was a very transgressive punk band.
It really was. TRIBE8 was a queer punk band, diversity of genders and ethnicities and different classes, and it was a sort of wild circus of a band. It was definitely like part. God, it is hard to. I'm trying to put it in a concise way. It was sort of
Well, it had real punk attitude.
It did.
In the way that it dealt with gender.
It did.
And it was theatrical.
Very theatrical.
And it was very hardcore rock underneath.
It was.
It was very punk rock.
Very punk as fuck.
And the band was in the same period as the sort of bikini kill, girl power, that kind of.
The Riot Girl, but we were Riot Hags. We weren't Riot Girls. But the band just came out of this need. We were queer, and we were different expressions of gender, and we just didn't see anything that we felt connected to or reflected us, so we just decided to pick up the instruments and play. And Lenny Breedlove would take off her shirt, their shirt, and yell, "Stop looking at my tits," and there was a lot of like rubber phalluses, there was a lot of knife wielding, there was a lot of humor.
Well, Lenny felt entitled to act just like a guy would act in this kind of band.
Absolutely.
John Giannoli never took off his shirt.
No.
In Pansy Division, but
no.
Lenny, it operated on many levels, and I think that we're going to talk about some of the film work in the same way. It was a good band, it was a good hardcore band, but it really posed visually and aesthetically real challenges to who was making it, and who were they, and what were they saying. Because you had castration scenes in the middle of the song, and yet.
Oh yeah, I mean, really, because we fit in. I don't know if that's gonna.
Excuse me. Could you? Thank you.
That's okay. Because we fit in nowhere, we could go anywhere. Like we would play Norfolk, Virginia, and the bartender would yell, "I hope you bitches get killed." But meanwhile, the audience loved us, and it was all like people in the military and the National Guard, like going to see the show, and they loved the band and they bought stuff. And Lenny had been in
So at
boot
what
camp.
point did you?
But then we were also protested at Michigan, so it was like we had a full range.
You were protested in Michigan?
Absolutely.
Oh, but the politically correct
Yeah.
lesbian.
So
But
I
you
think
played Michigan.
we did play actually several times.
I could never get into Michigan.
I couldn't go now.
Really? Is that
I
still true?
wouldn't. No, I wouldn't want to go.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
okay,
not.
okay.
No, I'm just being flippant.
I mean, and once again, the political correctness of those arguments and the anger, I think that people hadn't kept calling each other out, that I think maybe everything could have happened. People could have, I wanted to go because I wanted to hear the music,
Yeah.
but I knew that it wasn't a place that I could go to,
Right.
so I didn't make a big stink about it.
Right.
I like lesbians bands, so
Yeah.
and as things change, and as the whole gender questions changed and the identity questions changed, it was really challenging for, say, my generation of people that had always thought that they were on the cutting edge of sexual politics.
Right.
And so all that was being played out.
Yeah.
So there you are, you're in TRIBE8. And
Oh yeah, and I guess the only thing I wanted before I was saying the thing about we were protested everywhere, but also, what was great about the band is that because we didn't fit in anywhere, and we went in between a lot of different worlds, we were able to. Sorry.
It's okay, just stay with me. Stay with me.
Okay.
Okay.
I just wasn't sure. Because we could, we weren't categorizable easily. We played to whoever loved us, and that was such an array of people. I mean, it was like queer punks, it was straight punks, it was all ages. It was like in the small towns, everyone would get together in one room. Like the hippie lesbians from the mountains would come down and hang out with the biker Latino dudes and the punk skater kid.
But isn't that the story of every small town outside of an urban ghetto, where all the outside people, all the friends
Get together, yeah.
all found the same place to hang out
Yeah,
in?
and
the
I-
bikers, the poets, the queens, the queers, the dykes,
Yeah.
the whatever.
Yeah, and I think that that's something that the band was able to visit, or those are the crowds that I found, the most exciting.
Now, were you involved in the coffee shop in San Francisco?
Yeah, I started the Bearded Lady with Harry Dodge and Lori Hartman, and we had it for about 7 years.
Talk about what its role was culturally.
Sure. The Bearded Lady opened in I think it was '94 or so, and at that time, all the lesbian-owned bars had closed. Like there were 7, I think, when I moved there, and they were all closed. And there also was a sort of changing of the guards of this young queer. We're coming out of Queer Nation and ACT UP, and we were looking for a place to create work and make work and hang out. And so TRIBE8 had been touring in Europe, and I'd seen all these squats, and I came back and I was like, let's just do it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.